Imagine waking up tomorrow and every piece of clothing on Earth is gone. No shirts, no pants, no jackets, no shoes. Suddenly, billions of people would have no idea what to do. Sounds ridiculous, right? But for most of human history, that was normal. For hundreds of thousands of years, our ancestors walked across the earth completely naked. No fashion brands, no uniforms, no pockets, no laundry. So that raises a strange question. If humans survived perfectly fine without clothes for so long, why did we suddenly decide to start wearing them? And the answer is much stranger than you think. Because according to scientists, clothes may not have started because humans were cold. In fact, the first people who wore clothes probably lived in places that were already warm. So what was really going on? To understand that, we need to go back to a time before shirts existed, before shoes existed, before civilization itself existed. A time when humans looked very different from us. Now, here is something most people never think about. Humans are weird. Seriously, look at almost any large animal on Earth. Bears have fur. Wolves have fur. Monkeys have fur. Even mammoths had giant furry coats. But humans? Almost nothing. Compared to other mammals, we are practically naked. And scientists believe there is a reason for that. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, our ancestors lived in hot African environments. They spent long hours walking and running under the burning sun. If they had thick fur like a bear, they would overheat quickly. So over many generations, humans gradually lost most of their body hair. But they gained something else: sweat. Lots of it. Humans became one of the best endurance runners on Earth. Not because we were fast, because we could stay cool. While animals stopped to rest, humans kept moving. Our ability to sweat helped us survive. But losing fur created a new problem. Now our skin was exposed. Every thorn, every insect, every sharp rock, every sunburn, everything could damage us. And that's where the story starts getting interesting. Because the first clothing may not have been clothing at all. Imagine an ancient hunter walking through thorny bushes. He wraps a piece of animal skin around his waist. Not because it looks good, not because it is fashionable. Simply because getting scratched all day hurts. Another person copies him. Then another. Little by little, simple coverings become common. But scientists think something even bigger was happening. Something very human. Humans are obsessed with showing who they are. Think about it. Right now, people wear sports jerseys, school uniforms, wedding dresses, military uniforms, designer brands. All of these things send messages. They tell other people something about us. And ancient humans may have done exactly the same thing. Long before modern clothing existed, people were already decorating their bodies. Archaeologists found evidence that humans used red pigments called ochre more than 200,000 years ago. They painted their skin, decorated themselves, made themselves look different. Why? Because humans are social creatures. We want to belong. We want attention. We want status. We want people to notice us. So imagine the next step. Instead of painting your body, you wear the skin of a powerful animal. Maybe a leopard, maybe a deer, maybe something rare. Suddenly, everyone notices. Now your covering means something. And just like that, clothing becomes more than protection. It becomes communication. It becomes identity. But here comes the weirdest part of the entire story. Scientists discovered one of the biggest clues about clothing from something absolutely disgusting: lice. Yes, tiny parasites, the same creatures nobody wants anywhere near their head. Here's why they matter. Humans have head lice, but we also have body lice. And body lice are special. They don't live in hair. They live in clothing, inside folds, inside seams, inside fabric. Without clothes, body lice cannot survive. That means body lice only appeared after humans started wearing clothing regularly. Scientists studied the DNA of these lice, and they discovered something amazing. Body lice split from head lice roughly 100,000 to 170,000 years ago. Think about that. Tiny bugs accidentally recorded the history of human clothing.
The parasites know when our ancestors got dressed. That has to be one of the strangest scientific discoveries ever made. Now, imagine what happened next. As humans spread into colder parts of the world, clothing became much more important. Africa was warm, but Europe, not so much. Northern Asia, even worse. Winter temperatures could kill an unprotected human in hours. And suddenly, clothing wasn't just useful, it was survival. The people who knew how to make better clothing stayed warm. The people who stayed warm survived. The people who survived had children. And those children learned the same skills. Generation after generation, clothing technology improved. Animal skins became garments. Garments became outfits. Outfits became culture.
Then came one of humanity's greatest inventions, the needle. Today, a needle seems boring. You can buy hundreds for a few dollars. But 50,000 years ago, a needle was revolutionary. Imagine trying to survive an ice age. A loose animal skin helps, but a stitched coat that traps body heat? That's life-saving technology. Ancient people carefully carved needles from bone. Some even had tiny eyes for threading fibers. That means somebody looked at a piece of bone and imagined a tool that did not exist. That level of creativity changed human history forever. Because once people could sew clothing together properly, they could survive almost anywhere. Frozen mountains, snow-covered forests, harsh northern regions. Humans weren't adapting their bodies anymore. They were adapting their clothes, and that changed everything. Soon, clothing became much more than survival. Different tribes wore different styles. Different leaders wore different decorations. Special events had special outfits. The dead were buried in special garments. The living celebrated with special garments. Clothing became a language. Without saying a word, people could tell others who they were. And honestly, not much has changed. Think about what you're wearing right now. You probably chose it for a reason. Maybe comfort, maybe style, maybe confidence, maybe because it was the cleanest thing available. Either way, your clothes are telling a story about you, the same way ancient humans told stories with animal hides thousands of years ago.
That connection is incredible, because when you get dressed in the morning, you're participating in a tradition that may be more than 100,000 years old. A tradition older than cities, older than farming, older than written language, older than almost everything humans have ever created. So why did ancient humans start wearing clothes? At first, probably for protection, then for identity,
then for survival, then for culture, and eventually for fashion. But the amazing part is that one simple idea changed human history forever. Without clothing, humans may never have spread across the entire planet. No Arctic settlements, no mountain civilizations, no journeys across frozen landscapes, no modern world.
All because one day, somewhere in ancient Africa, a human looked at a piece of animal skin and thought, maybe I should wear this. And the rest is history. But what about you? If you could travel back 100,000 years, would you live like ancient humans with no clothes at all? Or would you be searching for the nearest animal hide on day one? Tell me in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.